What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. We've got Brian, Tottenham on tour, with us today. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing very, very good, sir. The first day of the rest of the week that we're together, and looking forward to every single second of it.
Yeah, maybe about the game tomorrow night. We'll see about that. But you've got some interesting shows coming up on Tottenham on tour. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we've got one big one tomorrow, 11 a.m. UK time, which is 6 a.m. Eastern, back where I call home Toronto. We're doing a movie review, and this movie review is of the brand new remix of Jim Carrey's movie Liar Liar, starring our very own Z-lister, Daniel Levy. So it's going to be a very, very good show. A lot going to be discussed. So come to Tottenham on tour and enjoy the show.
All right, we'll head over to Tottenham on tour and smash that subscribe button. Let's talk about the updates now. Let's start off with Lucas Mora. Fabrizio Romano has said that there's been no talks between Sao Paulo and Tottenham for Lucas Mora as things stand, and the expectation is that Lucas will stay at Tottenham until the end of the season and then leave as a free agent in the summer. How are you feeling about the Lucas Mora situation? Because we know that if Lucas stays, then that probably means we're not going to be signing a right winger.
Yeah, for me, and it'll be a theme during this update, I've been saying a lot on Twitter, as defenders, we need defenders. Listen, when we look at Lucas Mora, we're all going to remember, if anyone says to a Spurs fan for the rest of our lives, what does Lucas Mora mean to you? Everyone knows they're going to say the same answer. He's a guy that in moments could be brilliant, but has consistently not been good enough. And I think what really showed that is when Kulusevski, didn't it? When Kulusevski came in, we saw that we've been accepting there as the average, but there as the good, but this is where we need to be.
Absolutely.
And it's just not worth for him, whether it be injuries, inconsistencies, his final ball, his decision making. But listen, he's going to go down as a Tottenham Hotspur legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
And there's no doubt his passion and his love for the club, that will never change. He's got Tottenham in his heart and his blood. And thank you, but it is time to go, isn't it?
Yeah, I completely agree. Thanks for the memories, but it's time to go for Lucas Moura. But having said that, what I said before in terms of we probably won't sign someone because he'll be here till the end of the season. I mean, if he's leaving at the end of his contract at the end of the season anyway, then I mean, why can't we bring in someone this January in that position?
We can. There's no doubt we can, but I don't think right now it's the priority. If we're to go sign a defender, a right back, or two defenders, or a defender, or a right back, and then a winger came along, fine. That's I could do with that. But I think the sole focus right now has to be on the issues we currently have, not on the issues we are going to have.
Fair enough. But let's move on and let's stick with the same theme, stick with the right winger, and talk about Issa Sarr, as Will Unwin from The Guardian says that Tottenham are in the race alongside Aston Villa and Everton to sign Issa Sarr from Watford. We saw him have a good World Cup for Senegal with a few really good performances. He's also doing it for Watford this season in the Championship. We've seen it do it in the Premier League as well. I, for one, think he's a really, really good player, bursting with speed, and he's also adding a bit of end product as well to his game, getting a few goals and assists. So what's your opinion on Issa Sarr?
So first of all, you said that Everton and Villa are in the race. So during January, breaking news, Everton or Aston Villa have signed Issa Sarr. I do rate him. I think he's a very good player. We did this last time I was with you, didn't we? When Alistair Gold said about 5 attacking players.
He was on the list, yeah.
He was on that list, and I can't remember who else was on the list, but I said number one was, I can't remember who it was in that list. He would be my number 2. I do think there is a really good player there. Again, we've got the not have to worry, can he do it in England, or can he adapt to living in England with his family? We know that's a given. He's an exciting player. So if he was to come in as a Mora replacement out of the players that are playing in England and that have been linked with us, he's not a bad shout.
Yeah, I think the number 1 for you was Harvey Barnes.
That's exactly who it was. That's exactly who it was.
And Harvey Barnes obviously comes with a big price tag, in my opinion. Obviously a very good player, and I would love him through the door. But I think when we have so many different positions that we need to fill, We can't spend, 50 million on every player, can we?
Exactly.
And I think when you're looking at that position, there are so many players in that position that you can attain for a good fee. And I think Sarr is definitely one of them. Marcus Thuram could be another one who's out on a free in the summer. So there are plenty of players out there that you can find for a decent fee. And I mean, like I said, I'd love Harvey Barnes through the door, but I just think he would just cost too much.
Yeah, there's also, what was the French guy, Terrier?
Terry, yeah, he actually got a really big injury yesterday.
Okay, so
really
let's
big injury yesterday.
Let's forget him. I think as well with Ismail Sarr, I would be more open to him if it meant a lot more money got spent on that defence. Because you know what Ismail Sarr's going to do and what we've just discussed. And if it means we have to sacrifice some money on a position to make sure we spend big on another, I'd rather we spent less on a winger and more on the defence than the other way round. So that could work in that way, and I would understand.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Let's move on. Let's talk about that Pedro Porro once again, as Sky Sports saying that Spurs like Pedro Porro, but are not prepared to advance negotiations due to Sporting Lisbon's insistence that they will have to pay his 40 million release clause. Surprise, surprise, Tottenham Hotspur. But I've actually got a sneaky feeling that once we do ship Emerson Royale out the door, and I actually believe that this is going to happen this January, that we will advance on someone like a Porro.
Well, I was going to say surprise, surprise, Tottenham. But what I will say, and I said to you as soon as you started writing this headline up, I was like, I almost went a day. I almost went a day without having to speak about a certain person. Yeah, this is. I tweeted when this came out yesterday saying we called. I was on the phone to you last night when I said I got the information, or someone sent me the tweet. And I said, Spurs have called their interest. I was like, how can you call it from freezing? How can you call it from freezing?
You never heard of below freezing?
I live in Canada. I've heard of that. I've experienced that. Yeah, I think this is another one where what frustrates me with this whole goddamn thing is we know how badly we need it. Yeah, this is one that will drag on all goddamn window. And you look at the games we've got coming up, having a player that can slot right in and play this position is imperative, rather than waiting so long to try and wrinkle out a few deals for a 5 million here, a 4 million here. This is a deal that if you're interested, do it. Don't start doing this potsy game of poker and wait until the last minute, which our chairman does. I don't think this is going to get done.
You don't?
Nope.
Do you think any deals are going to get done this January?
I have said what I've said. We will probably sign Kulusevski permanently, and people will wax lyrical, even though that's going to become an obligation at the end of the summer. And I reckon a lone player will come in, but not in defence, in a position that we don't necessarily need as an emergency.
You know, everyone's making a big deal about what Paul O'Keefe was saying, what a few other people are saying there's only 30 million to spend, but loan deals are not counted in that 30 million. Right, and when you're looking at our last signings, the Kulusevskis, Romero, both loan deals.
Yep.
So if we can bring in loan deals of that stature, as well as spend 30 million on a specific player, I mean, that's not too bad, is it?
It's not. And give me 2 seconds, because Bob Spur put up a tweet today, and he put up people that are available at the end of their contract.
Yeah,
as in
a lot of players.
And he put this list, and I wouldn't be opposed if we signed a few player or couple that were coming in the summer, so they were locked, signed, sealed, delivered ours. And that list, you've obviously got Kante, Jorginho, Silva from Chelsea. Silva, too old.
Kante, too injury prone.
Yep.
Do you want Jorginho?
No. Gundogan, Firmino. Actually, Jorginho maybe. Maybe. I wouldn't say I want him, but maybe. Then you got Firmino, Ketia, De Gea, Wilfred Zaha, Tielemans, Trossard from Brighton, who I would take. Lionel Messi, who I would, funnily enough, I would take. Benzema, Karim Benzema, Modric again, Zenio, Rabiot, Depay, Lamar. Oh, I can never pronounce it. Hossein Aurora. Aouar, thank you. Moussa Dembele, not R1, obviously, and Skriniar. And there are a lot of players there, Skriniar being number one, that if we were to say we've signed him at the end of the season, ready to come in July like Gapco, I would be over the goddamn moon.
I mean, surely right now we can talk to pre-contracts with the players not playing in England.
Exactly. So
get on the blower to Skriniar, guys.
Exactly. That. I mean, I don't understand. We've waited so long. We know we want him. Conte loves him. He's ending his contract. He's available to speak. Stop being register interest Albion, monitoring the situation Rovers, B, Tottenham Hotspur, and put in an offer for the player that Skriniar summer signing. I heard that on Sky News. I would be absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah. As we all would. He would be literally the perfect guy for that middle role in the defence. But let's talk about Anthony Gordon next. Sky Sports Lyle is saying that Anthony Gordon is a player Tottenham really like a lot. Paratici loves him. He is one of his favourite players in the Premier League that they don't have. What? Imagine Anthony Gordon being his favourite player in the Premier League that's not Tottenham. That's a bit too much. Look, I've said before that I like Anthony Gordon. I think he's a good player. I think he's got a few levels to go up. He's kind of Everton's talisman at the moment without scoring too many goals. Very young player. I think he's, 22 now or 20, whatever it is, 22, 23. But I mean, he would just cost way too much money for what he is.
Listen, I love Jennifer Lopez and I had a poster of her on my wall. If you love Anthony Gordon, put a bloody poster on your bedroom window, on your bedroom wall. I just don't see. Yes, you can like the player, but right now, how does he improve Tottenham? I don't see. And the fee that we were talking last year was 60 million, 50 million. There's so much better out there for that sort of money. That once again, one for the future. We need players now. We don't need players for the future. So Paratici, if you love him, put him on your bedroom window, wall, not in a Spurs shirt.
I think that if he comes in, obviously he can play second fiddle to Sonny. I think he could be probably a good left wing back as well. So could be in the rotation there. So I mean, I don't see him being a starter at Spurs, but I think he would improve the squad.
Well, it does take a lot right
True.
right now, does it? But
True.
But again,
But you need players to come in to do that, don't you?
Yeah, but I think we just need to improve our squad in other areas before we look at that. If you got a part of your car that's broken down, you don't go fix the other part first. That's working fine. I just think we need to look at the back line before we can start looking forward. Like Jules Graham. Do you know what Jules Graham used to do for all his teams? You have a strong defence and then you start building up. Because if you have that strong defence, you're not conceding.
Yeah.
And I think that's desperately what we need to do.
Absolutely. And let's move on to the last bit of news for you guys, and that is Jack Harrison. As Sky Sports Lyle once again says, Jack Harrison is one to keep an eye on at Spurs as they were interested in him last summer. He's an interesting one, Jack Harrison, 26 years of age, obviously plays for Leeds United, can play left wing, right wing, can play in the number 10 position as well, so very versatile. 3 assists and a goal this year as in the left winger role. In total, he's had 181 games for Leeds, scoring 29 goals and 25 assists. Would you like to see him at Spurs?
So this is a player I do like. I really do like him. From the moment Leeds came into the Premiership, he's got a great delivery on him. I wish he was in that list we were talking about with Alistair Gold. I would rather him than Sarr. So if we were to look for an area and were to strengthen and it became Sarr or Harrison, I would go for Harrison because I really, really like him. But again, I go back to what I say, and I think we need to worry about the defence first and then going forward. But I do like Harrison.
I like him as well. He's got a current market value on Transmarket of 25 million, which has gone down a little bit since last season, which was 28 million. And his contract runs out in the summer of 2024. So I think he is one that could be attainable for us. I really do.
I think he would be. Obviously, he's part of Man City, if I remember. Then he went out to America and played in MLS and then went to Leeds.
Well, actually, Man City actually signed him from the MLS.
Oh, there you go. So I'm going the wrong way around.
No, well, yeah. Man City signed him on the MLS and then sent him on loads of loan moves to Middlesbrough, then to Leeds. And he went on loan to Leeds and then Leeds signed him.
Yeah, so I think he is a player. And like you said, he can play both sides. So it's good cover if we need it on either flank. We know we've got someone reliable there. So I would welcome him. But again, for me, this all comes back down to sort the defence out first. And then start building up. But I would prefer him over Ismaila Sarr.
Interesting. Well, let us know in the comment section below. Who would you prefer as a signing, Ismaila Sarr or Jack Harrison? It's also an interesting one with Jack Harrison. He came through the Liverpool Academy, didn't make it there, then went to the Man United Academy. went out to the America and then got signed by Man City. So he's been at Liverpool, Man U, and Man City, and Leeds.
So he's loving it up north.
Yeah.
So getting him down south may be an issue, but yeah. So you can say you look at that. All you can say is had a very good footballing education.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of the news stories we brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.